do it. All right, welcome everyone. This is we're trying to do a monthly webinar, so thanks for joining us today. This is for you, our customers. If you aren't a customer yet, we hope you'll become one, but today's webinar is going to be all about how can you, as a current customer using our product, what are some of the free tools that we have right now that you can start using to get some value in the year that is 2020. Thank you, Blair, for being available to join us today. Blair is the CEO of MXM. Many of you know him. He's been on the speaking circuit during the pandemic. So way to go, Blair.
Yeah, they're probably sick of me yet?
I don't think so. Jenny might be. And then this is your customer success team, you guys. Aaron, Jenny, and myself, Kaylin. Our job is to support you, to help you guys be successful as club operators using the member experience management tool that is MXM. So please, if you haven't met any of us, you can email any one of us, call us on our cell phones. We're happy to connect and help. And of course, Moto is being, his role as human emotion director is being covered by Jasper today, it looks like. So everybody is in good emotional state in the office, I'm hoping. So. All right, so our agenda, we'll go over it quickly. We're going to talk a little bit about 2020. What are we supposed to do? We want to just do a quick recap of what we're hearing from clubs all over the world as they're reopening and collecting feedback from their members. Two of the tools we want to highlight today. One is our social review generator, a lead generator, and then the idea of should you or how do you market during a pandemic, getting people back in the doors, members on freeze, members who just aren't coming in again. One of the most exciting things we've been a part of in the last few weeks is this virus to visits data collection. So we're going to share some of the final numbers, and Blair will also share some really cool things that our teams put together, kind of a package that you can take and use to influence hopefully policymakers in your area, your local area, your state, to make some change happen. And of course, we're available for questions. Jenny and Aaron and team will be manning the chat. So if you have a question or want to just say, hey, or raise your hand, whatever, put it in the chat. Someone from our team will connect with you and make sure we address your question. And if you aren't aware, we do have a support ticket system. You get full access to Jenny and Aaron and I just by sending an email in. We're checking it constantly. So please reach out to us. All right, so Blair, what do we do about 2020, man?
I'm going to crawl under the table.
We're all under our tables right now.
You know, it's I was on a webinar the other day, and Mary from Cooper had this comment, and I've used it. It's really heard, right? She runs all their personal training program, and she said the way they're looking at 2020, and this really resonated with me. This is not a year that we're looking at big profits. This is a year that we are going to completely solidify our relationship with our community, with our members, with members that are, and as she said on that webinar, she said, you know, our members are, there's those that won't, those that will, and those that wait. And we can't worry about those that won't right now, but those that will and those that wait. We need to make sure we are really delivering the best possible experience and deepening that relationship, and doing the same thing within our community so that we have the platform as the industry starts to rebound to really be then focused on being wildly profitable. So I appreciated that, and frankly, I feel like that's what we're doing with MXM as well, right? I mean, that's what we've done, is to try to build a relationships with our customers, with the industry, try to bring as much value as possible. So I think this is a healthy way to focus, and I think this will kind of lead us through the tools and some of the tactics here.
Right on. Thanks, Blair. So what you're seeing here, you guys, is some of the feedback stats that we've gotten. We decided to look at it month over month. So since we've been the first clubs that started reopening after the shutdown in May, you know, what kind of scores were they getting? And all the way through August, these numbers are valid as of about 15 minutes ago. So we've had over almost 12,000 pieces of feedback so far in August. Lots of clubs reopening all over. Some cool things we're seeing here. Blair, do you want to kind of speak to what we were talking about earlier about this data?
Yeah, so let's put some context around this, because you can see the underneath kind of what each of the scores is, and you'll see something interesting on the next one too around likelihood to recommend. But I want to point out those things that are the most controllable here. And you can think of these metrics as highly controllable, moderately controllable, and less controllable. I refuse to think that any of them are completely out of your control. I think there just needs to be some innovation done around this. So ease of sanitizing equipment and ease of sanitizing hands were huge themes going into the shutdown. And those were two things that correlated tightly with whether people were going to come back during the shutdown. You'll notice those to be quite stable. Well, those should be highly controllable. That's where do you have them? Are you reloading them? Have you provided the supplies? And you can see that those are fairly level. Other things that are controllable, but maybe slightly less so, that I'm really dazzled by is the overall staff friendliness and gym and club cleanliness. Those become a little bit bigger and a little more nebulous, right? Like, especially as your teams have to enforce new rules, as you got to stay up on your cleaning protocols. And then you've got, on the far right, those that I would say are the hardest to control for: ease to social distance and diligence of other members to clean and sanitize. You can see that those have fallen off a bit more, the diligence of other members, and that might be a little less enforcement. It might be more people coming in. In other words, there's a lot more dependencies on those two. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be innovating around those and saying, what happens if our ease to social distance drops way off? And then just open those thoughts up around that. What can we do to make it easier for people to social distance without necessarily, having people, limited more in the club? So I think there's questions that you have to ask around that, but pretty impressed with how this is leveling off here.
Absolutely. Another data view we kind of looked at was, all right, let's look at 2020 as a whole, the first 3 months prior to sort of a nationwide shutdown. And then what have we seen since then, kind of through to date? Kind of a really interesting data picture here. We all kind of agreed that likelihood to recommend taking off, but a lot of other things are going really well at clubs.
And just for context, the orange, Kaylin, the orange is now, right? The orange is post shutdown, and the purple is the first quarter, right before shutdown.
Exactly. So April 1st, basically through today, is what we're seeing in orange, and then January 1st through the end of March is what we're seeing in purple. So there's a little overlap of some clubs still closed, some reopen here. I looked at it from a lot of different perspectives, and overall, like these are key metrics. Every club everywhere tracks these metrics.
There should be.
There's a neat story to think, like, so why are people less likely to recommend? It might seem obvious for some reasons. You don't have all your amenities open right now. You only have 25% capacity. So why would they invite more people in when it's already hard to use the space? They aren't sure what's going to happen in the future. They're waiting on a vaccine, right? They don't like using the masks, and it's a mandate. There's a lot of reasons why. But the members that are coming in are committed to being there. Gyms are killing it with cleanliness, which we would hope they are doing, but cleanliness practices and sanitization practices are improving everywhere. And it's an ongoing thing. And of course, staff friendliness, you gotta nail it when those first members walk back through the doors. I mean, I think clubs know that, and they're doing it. So that's what kind of this data is telling us.
And I'd add this too. Everybody, all of us out there in this industry, I believe this next year needs to be from the bottom up and the top down, a rebranding of the industry, a repositioning of our industry as a much more professional, higher standards, and to have that messaging extremely strong in local markets and also sort of the air cover of national media. This starts to tell that story. When you start to see the customer reflecting that their internal experience, that it's actually really happening that way, and it's not just a marketing ploy. This is what you're seeing here. To me, what you're seeing here is maybe the molecules of the potential to rebrand the industry, digging down into the detail. So I think this is a huge, huge opportunity. And as you'll see here, that the customers are saying how much they love being in the clubs.
Yeah. So kind of, Blair, this is going to lead us into kind of our next section of this webinar. We're going to talk about sort of 3 ways that you guys as customers can start using MXM to start rebranding, start making some of those changes at your club. So we're going to start with, first, I guess I forgot about this slide, the feedback themes. Before we go into the next section, let's just cover this real quick. Aaron, you were going to actually speak to this.
Yeah, we're seeing about 1,000 pieces of feedback come in every day from our customers and the folks out there. So the members are giving us info, and so we still need to be listening. We've got over 105,000 pieces of feedback coming in, over 300 locations. MPS is holding at about a 40. The vast majority of our members are saying, that they're going to be with us in 6 months. They're happy with our staff friendliness, club cleanliness, and equipment condition. So, and boy, these themes are so different than what we were seeing in the shutdown. And so one of the cool things that we thought was least interesting, very low percentage are talking about a vaccine right now. Very low percentage is talking about masks. That was a big theme and concern for a lot of folks during the shutdown. And probably best one that we're seeing right now is super low percentage of members talking about cancellation. And that's so promising because we've got so many people out there right now that we're hearing that are on freeze. I've chatted with customers and gyms that had in July when things started, some gyms went from reopening to shutting down, lots of cancels. And so that's always a concern. That's our livelihood. So the fact that that's not a big topic right now, and that probably one of the big ones is love right now. We did not see that during the shutdown. And one of our biggest themes across the gyms that I've been working with is definitely love. And staff is super important, you guys. And the members are loving what our great operators are putting out there.
And just as a little bit of backdrop on this, what the text analytics and AI is doing is it's finding the themes. And this is not a simple word cloud. It's not just saying, oh, the word love was used the most. There are a lot of different words that go into creating that theme of love or creating that theme of staff. But this is really very heartening when you click in there and love is the biggest theme. So here's what I'll say about this. People are coming in and having a really good experience. And now is the time to harvest that. And in the form of reviews from this group. So what's happening post-COVID is people are doing more reviews faster. The gym business has been in a category that typically doesn't get as many reviews. So this is your opportunity to take this great referrability that's happening in the system and accelerate your reviews.
Yeah, so that's a perfect lead into what I was stumbling over earlier. But one of the cool things MXM offers is a social review generator. It can be built right into your member survey. And this is free and it's available for all of you. So it's super simple to get started. You literally just email Jenny, me, Aaron, or send a ticket into support and let us know you want to do it. We'll get it set up. Our team can pull in everything we need. We actually do this with Google Review, right? So that's currently the option we have that you can build directly in to your survey. And what's cool about Google is it shows up everywhere. Those reviews, when you're searching online or people looking for gyms, it's going to show up right there with those reviews. Every member that gets your survey, if you have this as a part of your product, will get asked to leave a review. We don't game this. We don't only ask your promoters. Every member who's chooses to complete some feedback for you will get asked if they want to leave a review.
And I want to pile on that too, on a couple of things there. Why Google and why not Yelp? Because Yelp does not allow this. And all of these review sites are tightening up on their T's and C's during this. And none of the review sites allow for gating. So with Medallia as a partner of ours, we have formal agreements with these companies. And gating is a big no-no, meaning what they refer to gating is that you're only going to ask your promoters to leave a review. On top of that, probably no one has done more research than Medallia Research on inviting everyone to leave a review. And here's what they've discovered. They discovered that all those reviews get biased higher, and you have a much higher volume of reviews, which is really important in where you come in a search if you have a higher volume of reviews. We've learned that people have an indoor voice and an outdoor voice. They might criticize you internally, but not externally. So, and also, somebody who leaves you a 9 or 10, the other best practice you want to do here is don't automatically fill that site. What we learned was, some places early on in review sites, somebody would leave a 10 and then they would have a comment, and just a 10 on likely to recommend. They'd have a comment. That comment would be piped into something with a pre-populated 5-star, would you like, and just think about that from your standpoint. Nobody wants to be handled, right? I mean, that's almost, to me, that feels just a little bit insulting to me. I'll select the stars and provide the commentary, but also that commentary is not always positive just because somebody gives you a 10. So the best practice here is let them populate the stars, let them leave their review. We guarantee it will be biased higher. We've just seen Medallia's done this too many millions of times. What we discovered at our clubs is the average review was 4.8. We got 7 times the reviews than we did without using the review generator. Right now, people are coming in and having a fabulous experience. If people go to your review site and most of the reviews you have are pre-shutdown, they're likely to bounce to somewhere else to look at reviews. Right now is the time to accelerate these reviews, and with the kind of love the clubs are getting, you're going to have a lot of really high reviews, and to have people on review sites saying this place is clean, they're doing a great job, that's going to be like gold.
Absolutely. So a little example of what this looks like. This is what we were using pre-shutdown at our club. So a message from your owner. They can, if they select not now, they just finish the survey. If they select yes, I'll help, they get taken to right in the platform. They can actually submit their review right here, and then they'll complete the survey. It doesn't take them to another screen or another portal. They can simply put in their stars and share a little bit of their experience. One thing, Blair, that what we've seen as well is the quality of the review has improved a lot. You're not just getting, this is a great gym, all my friends are here. It's really more specific. So think about this, you guys. They're going through your survey. They're thinking about their experience, the things that they love about your club. And so it's going to help them to write a better, higher quality review. So that's what we've seen anyways.
Will you back up one, Kaylin, please?
Yeah.
The other thing here is you'll notice we're not asking them to give us a high review.
No.
I mean, the customer, especially post-COVID, I really feel like some of this is sort of insulting to the customer. All we're saying is just help people make decisions. Here's what we've done with this feedback, why it's important. We use it to get better, and help others make a decision. Okay, go ahead.
And this is free, you guys. So if you're a customer of MXM, this is something you can add to your survey today. Jenny and I and Aaron, we can get this going for you. Another free thing that we can offer you that's already a part of your product is what we call the MXM lead generator. And we need just 3 things for this. So the way it works is at the end of your survey, you can offer the members something. You can send them anywhere you want. Some clubs have used this to raise donations for a cause that they believe in as a company. We were using this to try to get leads into the gym. We need a URL, a graphic to use, and then a short message letting people know what this offer is. So Blair, tell us a little how this worked at Works when we were employing this.
Well, before this, we were getting no leads from the system.
Yeah.
After this, we average 1 lead per day per gym. So 60 leads a month is what we were averaging. And they were extremely high quality leads. So the way that we did it, and go ahead, Kaylin. The way that we did it is we just sent them to a landing page. But by the way, we've tried this with just a simple line and a link. It's not nearly as effective until you put that type of graphic in there. So you guys can create your graphic, we can pipe that in, and then just lead. So what somebody would click on it. This was our landing page. We tried to keep it as simple as possible. So I want to make sure I couch tightly what we call the lead. The person, the friend's name, the friend's email, submit. And so that means that I have to know my friend's email address and I have to put it in there. So when I'm talking about one lead a day, it was something that was completed and was real. We could actually reach out to the person. So I think that's the important thing about this. I also believe that the volume, like we've seen, we know that the volume of feedback coming in post-COVID is higher than pre-COVID. And I would suspect that with the type of love people are seeing in the clubs right now, this may actually garner a lot more leads. I wouldn't be tone deaf in this, like this was pre-COVID. I might say something about, if you feel, I'm going to get this wrong, you guys, right out of the gate here, but just kind of directionally, right? If you feel safe, if you feel, I would make this sort of relevant, then please feel free to refer somebody. And then my landing page would also be something like, something about what the gym is today, and something about safety. It might even include a couple member comments on that landing page about how clean and safe the gym is.
Be creative with this, you guys. There's lots of ways that you can use this offer. It can be temporary. You can use it for a month, a quarter, a full year. You can switch it out for new offers as you realize what's working really well, what's not working. Throw your ideas at us and we'll help you kind of determine if we've seen that work successfully or not. So this is an opportunity to be innovative, as Blair said lots of times.
Okay, Kaylin, I'm going to interrupt real quick. So Blair and Aaron, do you guys remember, out of all those leads, do you have at the top of your head how many converted to membership?
I asked Katie for that last night. I don't have it yet. All she said is, and everybody keep in mind, our clubs have been closed for 5 months. We're still closed. So I would love to have, real recent data from this, but we can't yet. All I know is that it was a higher click-through and higher closing rate than the typical lead that would come in on our landing page for a free pass on the website. It was better than that, and I apologize for not having the exact percentages while we sit here. Another point on this, don't just think about new memberships here. People are trying to grow their small group training, trying to grow their online. This offer could be to try, your online, your new virtual membership. This could be a lot of things here. So it's just, there's no limit to where you can direct somebody on this.
Yep. All right. So those are two kind of free things that are available right now for MXM customers. You can't use those on your reopen survey. So once you are ready to switch back into your sort of core product, your regular member survey, that's where you're going to be able to employ that social review generator, that lead generator. This section, we're going to talk about kind of how are you doing your marketing right now. We're going to highly recommend you use that reopen feedback to create your marketing right now. The communication is going out to your members. There's 3 ways that you can really connect with your members, and 3 ways that you can. Well, there's more than 3 ways to connect with members, but there's 3 ways to look in the system for information to use in your marketing. One is searching for themes. One is looking for those raving fans based on their scores, and then also searching by keywords. And Jenny, I think you wanted to jump in and help with this section.
Yeah. So as Kaylin mentioned, you have several different ways to get that information out of the system. This is my favorite part because you have all this gold mine worth of data. So use it, right? What are we going to do about it? And I was just talking to a club earlier this week and about, what do you do? Bathroom readings. newsletters on your website, different things like that. But where do you get this information? And as Blair said earlier, use this information to reach out to people, tell them what you're doing. We are safe, we are clean, and don't hear it from us, hear it from the people that are actually coming in. Kaylin, will you go to the next one? So we're going to give you an example of how to go through these really quick. So for those of you who are in the system, now Kaylin mentioned if you're on Reopen, we can't do social or lead generator. If you have started your regular feedback system already, then you can get that started. But that doesn't matter because you can use that, and you can use your Reopen feedback, your shutdown feedback, as well as your regular feedback to do these processes here that we're talking about now. So in the text analytics tab, we have the themes that you can see here. And so what we did is we took the Love the Gym theme, clicked on that. So you can see quite easily that you take that, you click on it, you can see it's kind of a big, huge word. And then you see over there where it says, where it's circled, it says sentiment. So now if I want to come in here and I only want to share really quickly, I have 10 minutes to put this together. We know you guys are super busy. Click on strongly positive, click on positive, hit run. Then you're going to have all these words or the verbiage to use to get and put into your email blast, or to create the social media posts, or to put together something kind of a newsletter to tell your folks, hey, thank you, here's what we're doing, here's what we've learned, you said this is what we did, or we did this, you guys are appreciating it, we appreciate you more, something like that, that warm fuzzy feeling.
And I want to stay right there for a minute. I want to just give a little bit more context around this. There are certain themes going into the shutdown that had members really concerned. Things like other members not cleaning up after themselves. You guys have heard all this before, right? I hope so. Themes like you made it really hard for me to clean and sanitize. That was very strong going into the shutdown, and it was also strong during the shutdown. Yeah. So what we're suggesting when we say themes, raving fans, and keywords is that there may be 3 ways to bundle these member comments. One of them is around those themes that people, where people expressed some fear. And so maybe one of those themes that you might take on would be, social distancing, people that says it's way too crowded in here. And so what you might then do is go in and pull out comments that say, I love the space, I love how you've done the equipment, and create just 2 or 3 comments around the idea of social distancing. And maybe you say, here's what our members are saying about social distancing, maybe, and maybe you just let the members speak for themselves. And that doesn't necessarily, that is, website gold, that's social media gold, that's Instagram gold, that's, but it's also just your regular mainstream media gold, and it might be PR gold. And so when Jenny's talking about themes, and to find those themes, you use Theme Explorer is the fastest way to do that. But I really want you to think about it in how the member thinks about it. So if the members, were saying, and they were almost globally going in, one of the biggest no-nos was other people not cleaning up after themselves. And if you say, okay, let's press on that theme for the next 3 weeks, well, you're going to have a ton of comments in there where people are demonstrating and witnessing good behavior. So that's the themes. And then, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Sure, Blair, sure.
Yeah, for now.
So you can see, so along that same idea that Blair's talking about here, so you have, we love the gym, you have the positive comments. Now just kind of a slight shift here. So you see equipment, we have here, that's the theme, that's the actual topic that we're looking at. But if you look at the top right, you'll see if there's more negative comments about that as opposed to positive. So this is also going to be your learning moment. This is going to be, is it the cleaning of equipment, or is it the type of equipment? You're going to find all of those comments in there. But again, you can use this information to come up with the message you want to create for your members, whether your members are on freeze, when you're trying to build that confidence for them to come back, or whether it's for your members that say, hey, please bring your friends. You can see we're clean, the equipment's spaced out. You have all of those kinds of comments in here to be able to choose from. And so you can kind of see at the top right here, sentiments. Kaylin pulled out the strong, positive, and positive. And you can see that very first comment is kind of a neutral. And it just says they're confident you'll have the equipment cleaned, right? They're not concerned about that. So keep in mind as you're creating these and you're really looking at the themes that you want to make sure that you're pulling the right stuff that really makes sense for your members to be able to see. Kaylin, go to the next one, please. Oh, no. Oh, you got it. It didn't took me a minute here. So here we've talked about how to do all this, right? How to find it in the system. You go to text analytics. The first thing that pops up is Theme Explorer. So now you see all the themes. You have, like Blair mentioned, you've kind of come up with the things you want to communicate, what you've learned. Now let's export that, right? And so you can see on the top right, you have a few options to export the data. And we're going to recommend that you export the whole phrase out into Excel. Okay, so as you share this information and you create your newsletters or your posts or your email blasts, whatever you're going to be doing, you're going to be able to pull that information into Excel, get rid of the stuff that you don't think you want to share, and be able to kind of have a whole bunch of things to choose from right on one spreadsheet.
Yep.
And anything you want to add there?
Doing great.
All right.
Put him on the spot there. All right, Kaylin.
All right. So another way to use the system is look for your raving fans. So MX Review in the reopen that Healthy Clubs role, you'll see MX Review. What this is going to do is it's going to group your members based on the scores they provided for all the different questions on the survey. So for example, if you wanted to create marketing about how friendly your staff is right now, if you clicked over here on like the 81.4, it's going to take you
go back, Kaylin.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see your cursor there. Just will you show again right there? So that's that 81.4% of the respondents gave a 9 or 10 on overall staff friendliness. And then okay, there you go. Now you could click on that.
So the assumption is that these are going to be raving fans of your staff. So in those comments, you should be able to find something that's going to help feed the marketing piece that you're working on. When you click on that, you're going to get a report that looks like this. It'll highlight you. The filter we have on is that staff friendliness, scores of 9s through 10s. Look at how many people, over 83,000 people have scored 9 and 10 on staff friendliness currently in the last 90 days for reopen feedback. And then you're going to see the comments and the scores that these people have provided. So it'd be very easy to filter through, scroll through, and find exactly what you're looking for. You can use these filters to zero in on even a more specific group.
Hey, Kaylin.
Yeah.
On that screen, I just want to point out, and just because I get this question a lot, will you just circle with your cursor the show full comments that you have clicked there? Because for most of us, when we look at the that page, the read and reply page, or when you go to this report, it'll just have everything condensed. So what show full comments will do is open that up, so you don't have to click into each piece of feedback. You'll be able to see the comments right here, and that's actually what you can export from that screen, right, like that.
Yep, great point, Jenny. All right, so this is a great way to find your raving fans. You can quickly export a list of those people or get their comments. The other way we were kind of talking about is
Kaylin, wait.
Blair, what do you say? Yeah.
You go back. I just got to call something out on this. Because this ties right back into what we were saying about likelihood to recommend earlier. Comparing this last comment, the club has done a great job with safety and all the equipment I normally use is available. I give an 8 because I'm not comfortable recommending anyone to the gym at this time. Right? I mean, it's just people. There's a lot of uncertainty I think that is a big one out there. I love it here. There's a lot of uncertainty. Anyway, I just want to tie that back in. Take that opportunity. Sorry about that.
The rest of their comments really helpful too. It's they're really liking the outdoor classes, but not sure how that's going to work during the winter months. So that's a big deal. So that's something you can get out ahead of. In the same vein of how are you finding useful comments to use in your marketing? Read and Reply offers one super cool tool, and it is word search. If you click on this question mark here, it will give you some guidance on how to create a really good search. the most simple way is type whatever word you want to see comments. If people have mentioned it in their comments, it will show up in that report. You can use a key driver filter. I still have it set on staff friendliness. So we're looking at members that scored 9 and 10 for staff friendliness who also wrote the word staff in their comments. So when you click run, you end up with the report like this. And I've actually created a really special report where they've misspelled the word staff with 3 F's. So this is exciting information here. But yeah, members that are happy, they feel safe, the gym is clean, they feel like you're following guidance, really powerful comments that you could use and share out with your members. Anything else you guys on this?
Yeah, I would say make sure you look at the options on how to search, because you can get very creative in how you're doing a word search, and you know, you could use 2 words, love and something. You can use the or, where you're looking for vaccine or cure or whatever.
Yeah, just hover over this question mark, you guys, and it'll give you a really great whole list of guidances for how to create really specific searches.
And remember, this is all what we're talking about here is in the context of finding those voices that are speaking on your behalf that you can then use in messaging out to either existing members or out to the marketplace. That's what we're talking about here. That's the 3 specific tactics for driving business is, review generator, lead generator, and appropriate messaging.
Yeah. Yes.
Go back a couple. Just want to point out we're talking, and I'm looking at the list of people on this. So I think everybody knows, but since we're recording this, I just want to point out we're talking about filters. So in the system on the platform, you'll see in the kind of in the right hand side it says show filters. And you can see right here, Kaylin, when you circle, it says hide filters, but the opposite of that obviously is show filters. That's what we're talking about when we say filters.
Yep.
So what we're looking at here is you have left side, right side, just kind of broken down the middle. So play around with those filters, because you have all kinds of, it's a gold mine of data. Like we said earlier, you have this information, so let it work for you. Your members are telling you things. And so either, like Blair said, celebrate it, use it to get better, share it with your staff, build that positive energy. Okay, sorry, go back to the other slide. I just want to point out.
It's really important, you guys. The filters are where you slice and dice your data and get the information you want. If you get somewhere it's not the report you want, you can just click reset and start over, or call one of us and we'll help you learn to use the filters. We've got some great videos, and we can also just talk you through it in a quick phone call. All right, so you found a piece of feedback that just blows your mind, and you want everyone everywhere to know, like, this is what we want people to believe about our gyms right now that we're open. And this is a real piece of feedback. I've only removed the gym name, you guys. This is a member that's happy right now. They've got kids, they've got a family, they're using your facility. So you're ticking a lot of boxes for these people in a really challenging time. So this is the piece you're going to use to start creating your marketing, right? Or to do a social media blast. There's a lot of options you have here.
And can I call a couple of things here we're talking about on the left when we say call the member? What we're talking about there is you don't need permission to use these. You can just use these, and you could probably use first name, last initial, and just use the comments.
Yeah.
But you might want to call the member and ask if you can use their whole name. You might want to do that. And that could even give a little bit more validity to it. And then from there, you could say, would you mind just shooting us, taking a selfie and smiling, or would you do a short testimonial video, or can we work with you and create our own, maybe a more highly produced testimonial? But so it's the point is, with just one piece of feedback, you can use that voice to really paint the picture for your marketplace of what's actually happening in your gym. And by the way, we think this also, if everybody's doing this, it helps to rebrand the entire industry.
Absolutely. Another option, you guys, is send an email blast. You've got members that are on freeze or members that just haven't come back in. I was talking with the club operator earlier this week, and only 50% of their members have actually checked in again. They've been reopened for almost 2 months now. So there's still a lot of people that are afraid to come in. And we don't need to coach most of you on how to write a great email. You guys know how to do that. So this is just a very brief example. But let people know some of the things you're doing, and then share some actual feedback from people visiting the club. And I know Blair has some guidance sort of, or some cautions on sending these type of emails. So Blair, chime in.
Yeah, so what we're hearing from a lot of clubs is that when they do too much messaging out to their freezes, that more people on freeze email back and say, hey, I may want to cancel. So I would like you to be cautious here. Remember, when you're going to do an email, you might want to segment your freezes by demographic, perhaps, and you might want to do a test message out to a small sampling. Maybe only send to 100 people and see what the results of that are. And you have a lot of opportunities to test. I think too frequently we say, I'm not going to do this, or I am going to do this, and we think that we have to go all in or not in, like it's an off-on switch. Remember that all of this experimentation can be a dial. I mean, you could do an email blast to 10 people or 100 people or everybody that's on freeze. And that gives you a chance to sort of experiment with the messaging. I would want to keep it super simple. And for me, I would be sending something that says, here's what your fellow members are saying. And I'd feature those comments around whatever theme. Hope to see you soon. Be something probably about that simple.
Yeah, and a great example of that is, Jenny, tell us a little bit about this.
So Scott Gillespie from Saco Fitness up in Maine sent us, he did this, he kind of got out as soon as he started getting the reopen and shut down feedback going. He decided, instead of us, creating this, or us meaning him, put together, some kind of an email blast or something saying, hey, here's what we've done, here's the things that we fixed, we're listening. He decided to capture all the comments, basically everything we've been talking about, and put it into a video. But he's not talking, he's not interviewing, he just took all these comments, put it to music, and sent it out there. And it was great. I mean, so you kind of see we took some excerpts from that. So that's just another idea. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything, super high quality with video and all this. This is just words that he put to music. And he had a ton of, what do you call it, hits or
views.
Hits or views.
Yeah.
And so it's just something fun we wanted to share with you guys. So thanks, Scott.
Yeah, 1 minute and 32 seconds, you guys. And the impact of that is huge. It costs almost nothing to do, and they could share it everywhere. So as you're thinking about ideas, like, this doesn't have to cost a lot of money, and you have the feedback right now in your system to start working on it. So this is one of our favorite things we've seen in a while, was this video. Just, it really hit home. All right, so this is kind of the wrap up here, you guys, but we wanted to address sort of that visit to virus ratio that we've been working on. We closed out our data collection as of, I think it was like last Friday, right, Blair?
Yeah, we closed it out. Yep, closed it out last Friday, and this speaks to messaging as well. Yeah. These numbers are on our homepage, and they're intended for everybody to use them. We've also produced a one sheet on how to use this data. So so this whole thing we've been talking about, review gen, lead gen, appropriate messaging. This is part of that messaging. And there's ways for you to use this information, and perhaps even your own check-in information. Here's what we found nationally: in 49.4 million member check-ins, 1,155 cases of COVID called in, a ratio of 42,731 to 1. So we have a little bit of a Q&A on the website for that as well. Mm-hmm. And also in the one sheet. So we're going to be providing that one sheet. Your customer success team will have it available to share with you on how to use it with policymakers, how to use it in marketing. But this is all about messaging. So this all supports each other. If the member voice is saying, love it here, it's safe in here, and the data is saying in it, now we're starting to just, get the pry bar under this rock that we got to move within each of your individual markets, but also globally. So this was a great effort. We got great participation in this, and now we're seeing every state use it. One quick thing if you want this, if you want the macro data, it's right there. If you want it for your state, you can contact us. And the only way we're doing it for a state is if we've had at least 100,000 pieces of feedback for that state. And I think there's 33 states that we've had 100,000 pieces of feedback or more.
So go to mxmetrics.com, and you can, if you want your state's data, you can actually request it right there from the website when you go into that Visit Savirus area of our website. You can also reach out to us, and we'll find out if we have enough data on that state for you.
I think the main thing to think about is, when I know I'm preaching to the choir a bit here, but exercise, my mother-in-law said the other day, she's like, I can't go to the gym right now because it's too dangerous. But her spouse they live in Vegas, is quick to go to the casino and, have his drink and play his game and do, I'm like, wait, we have the research, Nana, that shows that the gyms are way more safe than going to the grocery store or going. And so she doesn't believe it. So we've got to get this information out because, especially for people like her who's having some depression because they've been quarantined for so long, in her case since February, getting this information out is critical. So we can get like for us, get our gyms open so we can get our local people back into the clubs, that kind of stuff. I'm sorry, Kaylin, go ahead. And if there's any questions, you guys type them in. We know we're about ending here, so.
Yeah, I think this is the first, you guys. I think we're almost exactly on time. So next steps, if you are not collecting feedback, you got to get a hold of the team. I know some of you existing customers haven't turned back on any of the feedback products yet. So let's get that going for you. We can offer you the free reopen survey. We can also turn your core regular survey back on as well. Hopefully implementing social review gen, and lead gen on those. If you're a brand new customer, you can sign up for any of our free products at our website. You can also just reach out to our team and somebody will get you connected with someone who can talk you through the products, what's available, and how you get started. And we are self-proclaimed and actual experts on MXM health club operations. So please lean on us as a team. We can help talk through scenarios that you're experiencing. We're hearing from people all over the country of really creative things that they're doing during this time, how they're innovating. We can offer our advice and our support via our product and just our own expertise to help you guys out. So please don't hesitate to utilize our services. And we're so thankful to be a part of this industry and glad you guys joined us today. Team, anything else to wrap up?
No, just a big thank you. Thanks for being engaged. Thanks for staying on. Really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate this industry. Thank you.
Was there one more question here, guys?
Charlie wants to know, Blair, if we can use the graphic. They can use our graphic in their social media. I'm not sure which graphic, Charlie.
I'm absolutely. Whatever graphics we have, I don't care. Absolutely.
Well, there you go.
Give it to them. Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, he said the one with the virus to visit stats. So he's looking at the virus to visit stats graphic.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can.
I'll throw one other thing out there on that too, is that there will be a big PR push behind that through URSA, and a couple of the other bigger operators in the industry are helping back that push. So they are, and they have all of the data right now, and there's some other data that we've provided, and they're going to be creating infographics, and there will be a major PR push behind that. That doesn't preclude you taking it and using it right now. So absolutely. The reason we have that front and center is so that anybody can go in there and use it.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Good.
Any other questions, anybody? We can stay on for a few more minutes if there are any more questions. I don't see any at the moment.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, team. See you
Bye.
guys. Bye-bye.